Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. I'm not going to go on for too long, otherwise I've rambled at the end of this a lot. I'm filming it in like reverse. But I am basically doing a kind of voiceover chatty one of a whole test that I rode on Ruff a couple of weeks ago. It is Elementary 40. And it was our second show back out together, I think, since he arrived home, and our second elementary test. I think our third ever elementary, and maybe our fourth elementary, and our second time back out at elementary this year. And yeah, he was really good, and I will let you watch it because it kind of explains itself. So this is Ruff preparing to enter in working trot, halting at X and then proceeding in working trot before turning left at C. So for this he got a 6.5 and the comment balanced halt. And in the directives the word freedom was underlined. So that's obviously the freedom of his trot. I was quite happy with this halt. He can be quite unbalanced sometimes into them, and he wasn't for that halt particularly, so I was pleased with that. Then we go from S to L, which is similar to the lines later in the elementary test you'll ride as the leg yield. He got a 6.5 for that, and the comment needs more freedom and open frame. And then you do a half circle from D to K, so it's like a turn off the centre line. And he got a 7 for that with the comment better tempo. Now for his medium, he got a 6.5 and the comment not coming through enough from behind, which I think is fair enough. I also think I need to be a bit more committed to ride forwards all the way across diagonal. Then he got a 6.5 for the transition, saying could cover more ground. And then medium canter, he got a 6, and in the directives, lengthening of steps was underlined. But I am pleased with the medium canter. He used to go quarters in a lot, which obviously affected our marks massively, and he's much better now. Then for the give and retake of the reins, we got a 7 and promising balance, and then a 7.5 for the counter canter, saying promisingly uphill. Then for the transition at H to working trot and walk at C, he also got a 7. So I was really pleased with this first half of the test. He did really well. I felt really happy with him and how he was listening in this test up till this point. Especially with the straightness as well, which is much improved. And seeing the marks for the canter, I was really happy, because last year the marks from the canter were what were kind of holding us back, so that's really promising. Then for free walk on a long rein, he had a 7 with the directives underlining stretching forwards and down, as well as suppleness of whole body. And then he got a 7.5 for changing the rein in medium walk, with the comment promising connection. So we are about to trot at A, and then do the V to I line, like the S to L line at the start. So for this he had freedom underlined in the directives, and the comment needs more expression, which I will potentially talk about in a minute, but there's a lot going on. And then the half circle from G to H, again 6.5 with ditto to the previous comment. The medium trot, he got a 6.5 with elasticity and transitions underlined in the directives, and clear difference but could be more over back. Now this is where it went a bit wrong. So I actually got a 7 for the working canter right, which I don't know what they were looking at, with the comment tending to lift pole. Then a 6.5 for the medium canter with just lengthening steps, underlined in the directives. then, yeah, he was very upset after that. So here he just wasn't quite straight enough and the balance wasn't enough over his leading leg. So we got a 2 for that, with resistance and lead not corrected. And then for the counter, the counter canter, we got a 5 with the comment lead corrected. Then a 6.5 for the transition to trot, saying lacking expression. And then the next movement was PB, gradually allow the horse to stretch and continue to show stretching on half circle. And he got 6.5 for that, with the comment late to begin stretching. And then just before E, we were retaking the reins and we did a half circle left, 10 metres V to L, which he got 6.5 for, and another comment of needing more expression. Then we continued down the centre line and halt at G, which he got a 7 for. So I will talk about some of the comments, or one in particular, but I thought I'd just take you through the collectives. So for his paces, he got 6.5. For his impulsion, he got 6.5. For his submission, he got 5.5, which I believe, I've been doing some writing recently, and I think depending on what marks you get in the test, you have to have a certain amount of, say, like 7s to get a 7, I think, for the submission. I don't know, I'm not a judge, but that's what I feel I've picked up on. And because he had a 2 and a 5, I think that just instantly knocks him out of anything over like a 6 at least. So he got 5.5 for the submission because of the outburst, and then I got a 7 for my riding position and seat. And then in his paces, he just had freedom underlined, and in impulsion he had elasticity of the steps and suppleness of the back. He got 64%, which without the 2 and the 5 and the 5.5 for the submission, obviously he's been consistently scoring 66-67% since we've gone back out at elementary, which I'm really happy with, especially with the consistency. And he did redeem himself in a harder test that we hadn't ridden before. For I think he had 66, 67 again in that one. So without the outburst, it should have been okay. Like, still, I'd have thought up to 66%, which is obviously where he's at. And the comment just said likeable with balanced canter, but trot needs more freedom and expression with horse working more through the back into a lower poll. So a lot of the comments, as you'll have heard, related to him being expressive. And obviously as a pony, he is only able to be so expressive, which at the moment is not a lot. He is at elementary and he's rising 7, so he's quite young still as well. Obviously the judge knows none of this, and he's a pony, so he's not going to trot ever with his knees up round his head, and I wouldn't really want him to do that anyway. But yeah, hopefully with time and training he will become much more expressive. That's obviously something to kind of put on the back burner a little bit, and the focus on continuing with things like the straightness and keeping a really consistent rhythm and keeping him forward and his frame and stuff. That's all stuff that we can work on now. The expression, I feel personally, will come in time, but he's never going to be the most expressive. He is, at the end of the day, a pony, and he can only do what he can do, which is fine, but we just need to make sure that we are super consistent, super accurate, and just ride really neat, tidy tests that are hopefully going to keep us up there consistently with the marks. If we can score 6.5, 7s, some 7.5s, maybe the occasional 8, like that's obviously gonna come out really well and be really consistent scores each time round. But yeah, I was really, really pleased with him, minus the outburst, but he was really, really good in his second test. He's so sweet. He did not want to do it again. He had another transition in the same place. We practiced them in the warm-up on the straight sides, and he was in canter before I even had a chance to think about it. I wish I had the video because you'd probably have been able to see it, but I didn't because my mum called the test because I could not remember that. And yeah, anyway, I was super pleased with him, and fingers crossed we will have a good season and more results at this level. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know below and I can do more voiceovers of tests with my marks and comments and stuff for you all to see, because I do find it quite interesting. I think it's a good learning experience too, and just a good record to look back on. So I'll see you next time.